take that. Yes, sir.
All right, welcome everybody to the Getaway podcast with Tony and Sean. I am Tony.
I am Sean.
And this is a special opening weekend NFL edition.
Oh.
We're going to get right into it. It is Sunday. Not sure when you're listening to this, but we're taping it on Sunday. So football has officially began in the NFL. Even though nobody knew what was going to happen, they are playing. And we are going to start it off with Thursday night, this past Thursday night's game.
Yeah.
When we get going, we're going to talk about some issues, not just on the field, but pregame, during, and post.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with some fire, man.
That's
Speaking of fire, how's it going in California?
It's not good. It's not good.
Right?
It hasn't gotten close enough to us to affect us in a sense of fire and heat, but you can smell smoke in the air when you go out. Yesterday we went out, picked up our groceries from Instacart, and you could smell the smoke on the grocery bags when we brought them in the house, and the ash on my vehicle.
I was gonna say the ash on your knees. I'm playing with you. That's an inside joke, folks. That's an inside joke.
There's no inside joke to that. Sunshine and tacos after that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get past the heat wave. We had the heat wave last week. Now we got fires with ash in the sky, dirty vehicles, but I still get tacos and sunshine.
You know what, man? I don't know. You know, it is Ohio, and we always talk about this Ohio weather where you can have 4 seasons in a week.
Yeah.
And, man, we had some beautiful weather this week. It was 65, 70 degrees. It was the bomb. And then it was like 88 again yesterday and hot as all get out and humid and
just in time for the football game.
Just in time for our football game. So yeah, we're actually, I lied. We're going to start it off with that, with the happenings over this past weekend.
Okay.
Our youth program actually started up this past weekend, first set of games. It was a rather successful day from a coming off without a hitch. No huge issues. A lot of safety protocols, a lot of sanitizing and just kind of scheduling and trying to figure it all out. But for the most part, it was a good day, and we're getting closer to how to really handle this thing with minimal issues and interruptions. So
it was a good day for you guys. That's good, right?
We'll say that again.
It was a good day for you guys.
It was a good day for us, yes.
I sent that article, right, about the high school team there that it's an earthquake behind me. You see that moving back there? Earthquake.
I see that. Earthquakes in Cali, boy. Earthquakes and brush fires.
Earthquakes and fires. But the one team where the player had tested positive for COVID, and then initially they weren't going to do anything. They were going to allow that other team to keep playing, from what I read. But evidently they changed their mind. They changed course and to go to quarantine those guys.
So we had a few cases of that here in the area, and I don't want to get into specifics and specific teams and schools, but yeah, there were actually a couple games that were slated for this past Friday night that were postponed due to some situations like that. I know there was one that came out, and then about an hour later there was another one that came out, and then like you're talking, they had to revisit some protocols. So it's not a surprise. It should not be a surprise to anybody. Cautious, being overcautious maybe in some respects, but at the end of the day, we all knew that was going to happen at some point. It was just a matter of when, and hopefully it can be isolated enough to where it doesn't spread and cause widespread issues. And at the same time, hopefully it is more for precaution and everybody can come back safe and no huge lasting effects.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? That's what everybody's concern is somebody gets it, then they play a game, and then the other team gets someone on that team gets it. What I want to know is how long did it take for them to find out, right? So they do the testing, and then what is it? A week later, they find the results, and then they got to call the other school, and now potentially the other school has had somebody that's been exposed to it for a week, and now they've drug it back to their homes. They brought it to school and exposed all the
Right.
students and teachers, and that's the issue. So hopefully everybody stays healthy. It doesn't get too bad. It doesn't spread to the family members and the student body and the teachers and whatnot.
Right. Right. Um, and then the next question becomes, okay, so how long before it, 2 games turns into 4 games, turns into 10 games,
Right.
you know, um, eh, so, just have to, wait and see, obviously,
Well, that's what
continue
they
to do
kept
the things
saying.
we're supposed to be doing.
That's what they kept saying during the college slate yesterday, right? When every time they would show the schedule for the team that was on the game, it was like, yeah, these are all tentative
Hmm.
because you never know what could happen. They had to be ready to change
Right.
at the drop of a hat. It happened with Virginia and Virginia Tech.
Right.
They were supposed to play
I saw
here
that.
like either next week or something, and now they moved it to November because there was an outbreak.
Hmm. Right. Right. So so our group, on a personal level, I coach some fifth graders, and my son plays on that team, and he's played on that team, with those buddies for a few years now, and we were, I know we mentioned this a couple weeks ago, we were not thinking that we were going to play this year
Hmm.
based on everything, and it was not a foregone conclusion that even if we were eligible to play, that we were going to play, but we decided to do it. I know I spoke on that before. I just felt like, for a number of reasons, we decided to do it. I'm very happy, and I appreciate all the guys that we have coaching with our group and our board. The fact that we have been pretty stringent on protocols and making sure that we're doing things the right way and to
Hmm.
keep the kids as safe as we can. We ended up having some success yesterday. Had a great game. Kids played well, got after it, and in a big win, it's always good, Sean. I know you can appreciate this, being able to walk away from the game even after a big win and have a lot of things that you can identify that you can get better at.
Oh yeah.
And so, we're looking to get back at it tomorrow with all protocols in place for practice. And we have a tough game coming up next week. We'll probably have a pretty tough week of practice, and we have a lot of things jotted down on how we can improve and do things better. So
Yeah, that's the
good
that's the
weekend.
good part about coaching, right? Because as a coach, you're like, all right, cool, we won, but well, we got some work to do. And the kids are happy as heck all week long until you get to practice, and then coach wants to talk about all the stuff we did wrong.
Hmm. And for
Congratulations
us,
to
we
those
don't.
little guys out there,
I
man. I
appreciate
I
that.
appreciate the
Yeah,
efforts.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so for us, even, we don't want one of our protocols in place is we don't spend too much time after the game together.
Hmm.
We don't gather all the parents up like we used to and have a few minute talk and all that. We don't do all that this year. We got the kids together for about 30 seconds after the game, congratulated on great effort, and made sure they had fun
Hmm.
doing it. And we told them we're gonna get better. Very proud of them, but let's get ready to go on Monday and enjoy your weekend.
There it
So
is.
that was how we did it.
There it is. I like it.
All right, so let's talk about this Thursday night game, man. The Chiefs came in and picked up right where they left off from 2019, dominating a Texans team that nobody really knows what it's going to look like outside of Deshaun Watson securing him for, I believe it was 5 more years, and making him what is the second highest paid player
Mm,
in the league
yeah.
now, behind Mahomes.
Yeah.
So good for him. Way to get your money, man. Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash,
Um,
homie.
Great cash, homie. But no, Kansas City decimated them. It looked like the Texans were always a couple steps behind. For those of you who are avid football fans, when I say the Texans better figure out a way to protect Deshaun Watson because he is getting hit like Andrew Luck did during his time in Indianapolis.
Make you want to quit
And
after you get paid.
that's right. That's right. So they got to protect him. But let's talk about pregame, man. Let's talk about the pregame, um, and how those teams decided to handle it, and the reaction, man. So what do you guys say about that? I know you got a pretty strong opinion on that.
I always have a strong opinion. Most
I
of the
know
time I
that's
try to
right.
keep it to myself, but we're gonna talk about
Right.
it today, I guess.
Let's do it.
Um, They used to say, find a better way. It's what they were saying when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee. Don't disrespect the flag. Don't disrespect the military, even though it wasn't about the flag, the military, or the anthem. It was about the country and people of color being abused, oppressed, whatever, by people that are in power. Find a better way is what we kept hearing. Don't do it on your job is what we kept hearing, right? But when you get the okay from the owners, then it's okay, right? So then they got the okay. The coaches are involved. They're bosses, so it's okay. So there's no anthem going. No national anthem, no black national anthem. There's no flag. There's no military members in sight that I saw. And it was just the linking of arms as a sign of unity that we're together on pushing forward this agenda of equality. Nothing about the police. Equality for people of color. And the handful of people, and if I was the owner, I'd revoke their tickets if they were season ticket holders. There's a handful of people at the stadium that proceeded to boo them.
You sure it was just a handful of people?
Well, I don't think it was. I mean, I can't say it was 100% of them.
I don't think it was 100% of them, but I don't think a handful of people are making that sound.
So you don't like the way I said the word? Okay, so it was a group of people.
A whole bunch of knuckleheads.
A bunch of idiots. And they're racist, is what they are.
You know what I'm tired of?
I'm not holding back.
I'm tired of people talking about they're tired of playing the race card and people playing the race card and it's not dumb. This and that. Listen, it is what it is. There is no reason to sit up here and sugarcoat it. Yeah. The reality of it is this, listen, we all have our opinions and we share ours here. People share theirs on social media in conversations with people, this, that, and the other. The fact of the matter is, people were against, the kneeling and all that. And I get it, man. I can see both sides of it. At the end of the day, I don't feel I'm qualified to tell someone how they should feel. But at the end of the day, I know how I felt. I know, what I will and will not do, my feeling. And I'll tell you, and we can delve into this a little bit too here in a minute. I do feel like it's been a very divisive issue. I feel like what led to it has been even more divisive, though. And at the end of the day, here's the deal. If we all treat each other with respect, this conversation doesn't even have to continue. But we're not there. No. And we're nowhere close to that.
We're not.
So here's the deal. If you want to be mad and say, I don't like the kneeling, it's disrespectful, that's fine. That's your opinion. If you choose to boycott, if you choose to voice whatever, that's fine. You're entitled to do that. But for anybody to have the audacity to say that is the same thing as people simply saying, and I didn't even see it as a political statement, man. No. I saw it as a human statement.
Right.
Okay. I saw it as a society statement.
Right.
And to sit up here and say that you're getting paid a bunch of money, you don't have the right to do it, man, go listen. Don't watch.
Don't watch.
Don't watch.
We've said it
before.
Don't
cheer for it. Don't go to the games. Don't let your kids watch it, okay? Deny them the opportunity to sit up here and be entertained and see things to strive towards. If you want to be that person, be that person. But go do it on your own in the quiet of your own home, okay, which is exactly what you're telling other people to do. Practice what you preach and quit being part of the problem, because guess what? You're part of the problem.
You are the problem. Blank.
And I don't really care how people feel about that.
You're the problem. You're the problem. And I'm going to say it again. You're a racist. I don't care. Stop being a racist. If we get rid of your racist thoughts, then you stop teaching your kids, and then your kids don't teach their kids, so forth and so on, then we don't wind up with racist judges, politicians, teachers, policemen, firefighters, mailmen, grocers. I don't care. Cab drivers. We stop having it. So stop with the racist rhetoric. Stop being a racist pig. I hate it. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick of talking about it.
One thing that really struck a nerve with me on it and it brought it total delight in my mind was when folks mentioned, we have all sorts of causes, right? And we lean on and ask for our actors, our entertainers,
Mm.
our sports teams and leagues to link arms with us on these causes, right?
All right.
You know, we have a great cause in October, breast cancer awareness. It's not just to color coordinate with some pink and give some flash and some swag.
Right.
It's about bringing awareness and attention to something, and they have a platform that can assist in that.
Right.
You know, we have the same thing for multiple causes,
Yeah.
and we ask them and we embrace them when they do that. Okay. And then what do? We complain when athletes, okay, so when athletes do it and it's not under the auspices of maybe the league and they get fined or they're told, ah, you can't do that. People say, oh man, that's not fair. All they're doing is this. All
Yeah.
they're doing is trying to do good.
Yeah.
And I get it. Okay. So why is it when players try to unite. I didn't see any of those players giving anti-Trump statements,
No.
pro-Trump statements.
Nope.
I didn't see any of them saying defund the police
Nope.
or Black Lives Matter. I didn't see any of
None
that.
of that.
Okay, so cut out the polarizing stuff, and they're just saying, listen, we are together,
Right.
we are in unity,
Yeah.
okay, and we stand for just. Okay, and if
Equality.
that draws boos,
Booze.
man, go on somewhere with
Because
that,
you're a
man.
racist. At the root of it, you're a racist, and you can't think beyond yourself and your skin color, and you're feeling that you are better than. At the root of it, I saw someone a reply from Kirk Herbstreit like this week. Someone said, "Are you going to cry for the police like you did for the people of color or whatever, for the blacks or whatever it was?" And that's a false equivalency as well. That's a terrible reply. You know, that's the knucklehead response that you get, right? Because the police, when they sign up for their job, they know the inherent risk of the job, right? If an officer, God forbid, gets shot, hurt, and or killed, they signed up knowing what the job was. It's like when you join the military, you understand there's some danger involved, and that's why there's a respect for the police. But once again, the Getaway podcast with Tony and Sean, we support the police, the good police.
Absolutely.
We support the military, the good military.
Without a doubt. Without
Right?
a doubt.
It's the knuckleheads that we're talking about.
And I don't care what line of work you're in, whether you're a cop, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a real
Yeah,
estate agent,
yeah,
whether you're a teacher, whether you're whatever. It does not matter to me
that's right.
what occupation you are in. Okay. My initial intention is to support and respect because that's how it should be. That's what I teach my son. That's what we teach our son.
Well, yeah,
It is mutual respect. Here's the deal, though. Okay, trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets.
there you go.
And at the end of the day, if you don't deserve that based on your actions, regardless of what line of work you are in, okay, then you don't deserve it.
Say that again.
And
Trust is what?
trust is earned in drops and lost in
I
buckets.
love it.
Hey, I didn't make it up,
That's
but
good.
I'll claim it this week.
That is good,
Hey,
man.
hey, and why was I real focused on not George Bushing that one up? Okay, and hey, and you know what? Hey, and big ups to George Bush. You know, we don't get to see the real side of a lot of politicians. You and I are fortunate to hear real sides and real insight to some of these folks. And you know what? Some of them just aren't what they seem. Okay, some of them just aren't what they seem. Inside scoop, but that's for another show. That's for another show.
Yeah, we
But
can't.
no. So segue into comments
Yeah.
by Baker Mayfield
Oh my
of the Cleveland
God.
Browns.
Here we go.
Well, and yeah, I think we're going to
Look.
be on opposite sides of this one.
Well,
Go
we
ahead
might,
with
we
your
might,
opinion,
we
and I'll share mine.
might be. But here's what I don't want. I don't want you flip flopping. First of all, and then second of all, the two words that I didn't like is divisive and furthers the discussion, because the point of it is to further the discussion.
Right.
And
No,
secondly,
I
I
get
don't
it.
think that it's divisive at all. I think it's a protest, which is supposed to be something to make your ears and eyes perk up and go, what are they talking about? And let me read more, let me listen more, let me understand more. So
Yeah.
those two words that he used, that's what makes me fall off of it with him. I'm not down for that. And I don't the flip flopping, man. And I wonder if there was a discussion in the locker room, because what I say is talk to your friends of color, right? Talk to them and see how they truly feel about what's going on. If you don't have an understanding, don't just sit with your people and discuss it. Talk with someone outside of your race, and then see if you can get some clarity. But go ahead.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, we don't know. We don't know what those discussions are in that locker room. That very well could have taken place. We
Right?
don't know that, and so I think,
Okay.
in all fairness, we say have that discussion. He may have had that discussion. That may be where the people in the locker room. Because for me personally, and you and I have had this conversation.
Uh-huh.
Okay, um, for me, I don't disagree with the act. Okay, I didn't disagree when Colin Kaepernick did it.
Mm-hmm.
From his right to do it, and I wasn't here to criticize that. With that being said, I won't do that, and
Mm-hmm.
and my son won't do that,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason is, I feel like, and I am along the lines of something that Baker Mayfield is saying. I do feel like, listen, the awareness has been brought.
Mm-hmm.
That was the focus. That was the goal. A lot of people didn't accept that, but it actually accomplished what it was trying to accomplish. It wasn't there to fix things. It was there to bring awareness to it. It absolutely did that.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that was a mission accomplished. Now, beyond that, you can bring awareness every week.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's get to the nuts and bolts and fix some things. And I think that a lot of people, that's where a lot of people are pointing to now. For me personally, I don't feel the need to continue to beat that nail, okay, with the hammer, as far as look at me, look at me. I don't feel that's necessary at this point. I feel like everybody's hurt now. Whether they want to accept it or not, that's another thing. And
Uh-huh.
and continuing to kneel on the sidelines isn't making the people accept it that aren't going to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they're aware of it. So, like I said, I get what he's saying as far as to continue creating divisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
However, okay, I'll be honest, and this is where I almost, and some people disagree with this too. This is where I almost agree with when Jay-Z was, quote, brought in to come in and be this guy. One of the things he said is, "Look, we brought the awareness. Now let's put some action behind it, and not necessarily just continue to want to bring the awareness, because the awareness is there. We, we
Mm-hmm.
we've we've identified. Listen, ad nauseum. Okay, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing,
Right.
but ad nauseum, we all know and are very aware that there are issues that need to be dealt with.
Right.
Um, we talk about we don't want the flip flopping, but I'm seeing people flip flop on both sides. I'll be honest with you. That's why I wasn't really big on, people flip flopping from the other way.
Mm.
Okay, Drew Brees, the NFL itself, Goodell. I don't really need Goodell to come out now and say, "Oh, we were wrong 4 years ago." I don't really need that, because, in my opinion, and you and I talked about this the other day, I feel like a lot of times those changes and that rhetoric is driven by something else.
Look,
Whether that's Go ahead.
he can flip flop. I said I don't like it. Right.
Mhm.
I said I don't like it. He can do what he wants. But the major problem I had was the words he used: divisive, and to not further the discussion. So you want it to go away. You don't want to talk about it anymore. That's
That's a good point.
that's what we're hearing on Facebook. Just shut up and play. Shut up and dribble. Stick to sports. You're grown men. You get paid millions of dollars to play a game. I'm not going to support. I'm not going to watch, because he wanted to just shut up and play. And that's the problem I have. The black guy can cut. The only time the black guy can come into your house for some of you racists is when he's on your damn television. Let your daughter come home with a black guy. Let your son come home with a black girl. Right? Let black people walk by your house in the street. They might get called the N-word in your neighborhood. I know I did when I was in the neighborhood. Can I go to story time? I'm going to story time. 13-year-old Huffman riding down Valley Street on his 10-speed to go get a mouthpiece for football practice. Remember that pharmacy that was down there?
Mm-hmm.
Going there to get a mouthpiece. 13 years old. I get my mouthpiece. I saved up the money because I didn't want to bother my mom. I get the mouthpiece. I come out of the pharmacy. I get back on my bike. I'm riding back home. Grown men chased me down Valley Street out of there, calling me the N-word. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the only time we're allowed to be around you is if we're running a football, catching a football, throwing a football, shooting a hoop, right? Representing our country, running track and field, whatever else. Basketball. That's the only time we're allowed into your home. That's the only time you talk about us in a positive light. Oh, and by the way, if we're on the opposing team in your city, we're the N-word then. But the ones on our team are not the N-word. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the games. Anytime you chime in, and guess what? We see your comments on social media when you chime in with the racist group co-signing stupid statements, stupid posts. We see it, and I judge you. Sometimes I say something to close friends. I will say something in response to their post. I'll post it right there in public. I don't hide it. To my close friends, if I don't respond to your stupidity, then we're not that close. But we see it and we judge you for your racist ways. That's what it is. So the only time, look, those grown men, I probably played with somebody in their family on that 8th grade football team. And they chased me out of there calling me I almost said it, the N-word. You see what I'm saying, man? So that's why I'm tired of it. And for you to say, you know what? Let's stop the discussion. It just furthers the discussion and it's divisive. Go to hell, Baker Mayfield, is the way I see it. Because you're not an ally. If you're going to say that, you don't want to discuss it anymore, you're not an ally. So just say what you want to say. Go be on Fox News. Get your interviews in there. Because you're not an ally. Story time is over.
All right. Let's talk pick'ems, man, because we had pick'ems last week. We are all actually. I'm actually on the leaderboard. I'm leading right now.
What?
On the pick'ems? Yeah. I went last, so since I went last, my name is first, and so first is number one. So
but
we
there
all
was only
picked the
one
Chiefs.
game.
We all picked the Chiefs so far. We're all 1-0. Everybody tied with me, but behind me, and we'll go from there. There's a lot of games this weekend. There's a lot of games going on this weekend and the game tomorrow. So we'll have the tally. We'll probably throw it up on the Facebook page Tuesday, and then we may even, you know what, man, we may even open this thing up for others to pick. That may be a nice way to engage some listeners and go from there. So we'll discuss that a little more with your LL Cool J grin. I get it.
What?
What else, man? What else is going on?
Hey.
NBA, more sports, right?
Hold on. I just want to do it again. I want to talk about. Oh, I gotta find it. My and your mighty Stebbins Indians.
You got the
I got the claps. I got the claps ready, son.
Got the applause ready.
Huh?
Do you have the alma mater ready to go though?
Shout out to the mighty Stebbins Indians again.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? I don't think it's the same fight one.
Yes, it
huh?
is.
And I don't think it's the exact same.
Nah,
it doesn't sound right. It's close though.
It's not.
So I'll stop then. I'll have to find that now. I'm going to get it because, look, we're on a roll, baby. 3-0. Coach Bonifay got that dub against Xenia. Hey, it started off a little rocky. Opening kickoff returned for a tud. They got up on us early. But the resiliency of these kids, man. And the word again I'm going to use, stick-to-itiveness. I was in here like, yeah, they gonna get him. It's all right. I sent him a message. You know, I sent him a message like, I hope he's got his phone on him. I was scouting from the couch in Cali. Like, hey, the message was the sluggo is open. Basically, double moves are open, right? What does Coach Bonifay do? He didn't read my message, first of all. Thanks, Coach Bonnie. I know you're focused and your phone is up. But good coaches make the adjustments. Second half, he comes out throwing that ball all over the place, right on down the field, getting tuds. That's what I'm talking about. Good job, Coach Bonifay, assistant coaches, and players. Great job. Oh, that's not the right one. That's Notre Dame. Oh, sorry, man. I got excited.
Just pull up the Ohio State fight song. It sounds real similar.
It is.
We just change some words. We'll just change some words.
What are you talking about?
You already know.
Notre Dame and Ohio State fight song?
No, I'm talking about Ohio State and Mighty Stebbins Indians. You know, I think you have a mental block though when it comes to that. I get it. No, but you mentioned stick-to-itiveness, and here's the deal. Okay, when it comes to coaching, and when it comes to teams reflect their leadership. Bonnie is a first off, he's very committed.
Yes.
He's a gritty, roll up the sleeves, let's get it done together.
That's right.
And they reflect leadership, and just kudos, man. Keep it going. Regardless of the record, man. These kids show, the resiliency that you said. I mean, all these kids have been through a ton in the off season. So, and it's not over. It's not over. We're gonna keep going through it. But man, just keep these kids representing the school, themselves, their families, and the program. It's fun to watch, man.
And
it's fun to watch.
I'm going to do my thing again. Shout out, I shout out the running back, the quarterback, and whatever. And number 11, he had a good game. I got to look his name up. But this week, I want to give a shout out. The defense overall, right? But that front seven, dealing with triple option is no fun. Nobody ever wants to deal with it. And I got a little message from the D-line coach last week, like, what's up? I can't get a shout out from my guys. Well, I'm shouting you guys out. Coach Lofty, I coached him, by the way, from 8th grade through high school. Good job to the D-line. Shout out to the D-line for shutting down, for the most part, that little option junk. I love the option, but I called it junk this week because it was against my mighty Stebbins Indians, right? So, I think his name is, I want to get his name right. That's not it. It's Jeremy Holloway. He had a really good game returning the ball on kick return, some punt return, and he had a really good catch, third down, to move the chains to run the clock out. That dude's 6'4", 180, man, senior. I mean, that's getting it done. Congratulations to the Stebbins Indians. And then I think that will close out the segment. I'm going to give them one more round of applause.
Oh, no, I got a shout out too. You're going to do all this shout out, and that's great, and I appreciate it.
Come on.
I got a shout out too.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to shout out, and listen, not very many times will we have these two coexist, but kind of those days are over, so just bear with me. I'm going to shout out the Wayne Warriors football team on their win.
I wanted to say, as I'm hitting this applause button for my my fellow alumni, don't be mad at us for this.
Oh, no, because here's the deal.
Back in the day, Wayne was our rival, right? And we hated Wayne, but we no longer play them, so now we got friends and whatnot. Okay, go ahead.
That's right. So shout out to Coach Mukes.
Okay, Coach Mukes.
Getting their second win of the season.
Yeah.
Second win of the season, 2 in a row. League wins. Going for number 3 this coming week against Beaver Creek. But in the fashion in which they did it, okay?
Yes.
Cam Fancher, senior quarterback.
Cam.
Yeah. No, Cam Fancher, second week in a row, kind of lighting it up when his team needed it the most.
Get him, Cam.
Son of Jermaine Fancher.
Some of
you know him as Jermaine Patterson.
Yes.
Also Stebbins alumni.
Ooh.
I mean, we just great.
Yeah. Basketball baller.
Seriously.
He was a baller in hoops.
That's right. So, man.
Cam.
Fancher to Kinley.
Yes.
Touchdown to win it. Darn near a walk-off touchdown.
14 seconds left.
14 seconds left, and then they came out and just got it done. So, major shout-out to Coach Mukes, Coach Cokes, Coach Red, all the other coaches on that staff.
Coach Red's on the staff?
Also resiliency. Coach Red's on the staff.
That's awesome.
Yes, he is. So resiliency, man. These kids started off the year with a disappointing loss. Kept it together and have put together two impressive wins and going on for number 3 in a row. So good luck this upcoming week and beyond to the Wayne Warriors. All right, so
Cam is so smooth,
off of football now.
Cam is like
what's that?
Cam is so smooth.
I love watching him play, man. I love watching him. But you know what, man? Okay, so great physical talent.
Yeah.
Obviously, great athlete. Cam's a good kid, man.
Yes.
He's a great kid, and I know yesterday he came out to support his younger brother playing Bantam football.
Okay.
And we got a chance to talk a little bit at the field yesterday morning. And he's just a great kid. That's a kid. He's gonna succeed in whatever he does. His parents and family should be very proud of him.
That's what's
So
up.
keep it up. Keep it up. Let's move on to basketball. I know this is just a sports segment, man. Listen, we are so excited. Sports are back, and we're just gonna have to soak it all in today.
Yeah.
NBA basketball
Yeah.
taking some turns.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks, who I believe we both picked to win the East, have bowed out so ungracefully, almost getting swept
Oh my
by the
God.
Miami Heat. Miami Heat, very impressive. I'll tell you what, there's another group. Um, Nobody expected Miami to be in the conversation right now, but they're playing for the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'll tell you what, Boston is going to have their hands full
Yes.
with the Miami Heat. So the East is shaping up to be crazy. The West is right where we thought it was going to be. It took us a
Yeah.
little some turns and whatnot to get there, but we have the LA matchup, the Clippers versus the favorite Lakers. And I tell you what, man, that I'm gonna be glued to the television. That's what I want to see. That's what LeBron came here for. That's what Kawhi and Paul George came here for.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis came here for. Um, but you know what? I don't really want to talk. Gosh, I don't really want to talk scores and results. I want to talk about a conversation that they've brought up again over and over and over. And I'm starting to change my opinion on this, man. And that is the GOAT conversation.
Uh-oh.
The GOAT conversation
Uh-oh.
when it comes to basketball. So I think in our group, I think most folks will say without question, MJ is the GOAT. I mean, would you agree with that
I'd agree.
for the most part?
Yeah.
I heard an argument to the contrary last night, and for the first time, I think I felt where he was coming from,
Mm.
and that was Jason Williams, former Duke point guard, former NBA point guard for a short period of time, was in an accident and was unable to continue playing, but is
He was a
definitely
baller.
definitely a baller. Has definitely become a very, very, very well respected analyst on ESPN, and I love listening to his takes. But he took the unpopular take
Yeah.
in position,
I've
and,
heard him
and that
take it.
was yeah. And I tell you, man, I agree with you, and we're not going to go word for word or anything like that. But the point he was making was everybody crowns Michael Jordan, and it's not to diminish what he did, but if you look at it, what was one of the questions that Jason Williams asked? He's like, who coached those teams?
Mm.
Okay, arguably the greatest coach in professional basketball history.
Yeah.
Some can argue Red Auerbach, but you know what? Phil Jackson has to be in a conversation. And I'll tell you what, if it's a 1-2, it is of the slimmest of margins,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you look at that, you look at his supporting cast. Okay, he had, when the 50 top players came out, he had a guy who was on that group and has been regarded as one of the great players of all time as well. He just happened to be a quote sidekick or a Robin in some people's minds.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is Scottie Pippen was a super baller.
Yes.
Super baller.
Yes.
Dennis Rodman came in for that run, and Dennis Rodman was arguably one of the greatest defensive players of all time,
And
and
rebounders.
and and the greatest rebounder,
Yeah.
regarded the greatest rebounder, not the biggest guy on the floor,
No.
the greatest rebounder and
Right.
disruptor of all time.
Right.
And then you look at some of those other guys that filled their roles great. Um, and Michael was part of some really good teams.
Yes.
It wasn't just MJ. When you go back and look, and Jason Williams asked, who was on that LeBron team that went to the finals that lost to Boston? Okay, who was on that Cleveland? I said LeBron team, that Cleveland team,
You said
right?
it right.
Okay, okay, who was coaching that team?
Right.
Who was coaching those teams in these runs? We're talking about a guy who's made it to 9 finals. I don't care that he's won three; he's made it to nine. Most will never make it to one.
Right. How
Okay,
many in a
he's
row?
made it to he's made it to nine. What was it? Six? No, it was no.
It was
Well, he didn't
four.
make it last year. He didn't
Four
make it
with the
last
Heat.
year. Four,
He
three or four with the Heat.
went to Cleveland
Three with the Heat.
4. They were 2-2, right? They lost to Dallas 1-2 in a row, and then lost the 4th.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
And then one with the
Remember, it's
Heat.
all.
And then hey, I don't know. It was a lot in a row. How about that?
I don't know, but he's made it there a number of times. Now, granted, yes, he had Dwayne Wade
Yeah.
and he had Chris Bosh, but let's be honest, Chris Bosh was a very good player in Toronto, and when he was the number one option.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like that team was super duper stacked and loaded. They had good players,
Well, that's why they lost.
and they had Dwayne Wade. But the fact of the matter is, LeBron has taken a lot of teams that really, after him. Now people say, well, yeah, but he went with Kyrie, and yes, with Kyrie, with the same Kyrie who is regarded as a great talent, okay, but isn't necessarily fulfilling that on the floor, at his various stops right now, based on attitude, personality, whatever. So the fact of the matter is, man, when we talk about the GOAT, I'm not sure why that isn't a closer conversation because of who he's done it with. That's not to minimize. Look, man, guys, it is what it is, right? Coaches, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But he has done it with, man, in some cases, little help. Little help.
That's right.
And I don't want to say, those guys back then weren't playing against anybody. Because listen, man, the Michael Jordan led Bulls, talented Bulls.
Yeah.
Okay. Had to go through tough teams, had to go through, the Pistons numerous times, face the Jazz when they had arguably two of the greatest players of all time on their team.
Yeah.
They played some teams, played a Portland Trailblazers team, led by Clyde Drexler and those guys.
Look,
I mean,
he stopped a lot of all-time greats from getting a ring.
He stopped a lot of all-time greats from getting a ring, and he had some really, really tough cats on his side and behind, and had his back.
That's right.
LeBron has done a lot of this. I mean, even this year, man, when I look at, yes, Anthony Davis is just a talent. He's a great player. And Rondo, we're getting playoff Rondo, which is a great sight to see, because that's not the Rondo we saw the last 2 years.
No.
Okay. We're getting playoff Rondo, but let's be honest. That's not a 92 Bulls.
No.
Okay, supporting cast.
No, not even close.
That's not who he has or has really hardly ever had.
For all the good pieces, if the good pieces add up to 15, I'm going to subtract 4 because Danny Green is on the roster. I said it. That dude messes up so much, man. I can't take it.
I'm going to lay off.
But yes,
the supporting cast.
You're right about LeBron.
But I will say this. Yes, I will say this. He does a lot with a little, and that's why I told you the other day we had this offline conversation. Another way the NBA, I think, messed up is to have this voting prior to the bubble, because there has been nobody better than LeBron in the bubble.
That's correct.
Period. No. Listen, you don't have to like him. You don't have to like the fact that he left Miami, left Cleveland again. You know what? You don't have to like that. The man in his 17th season, is doing what nobody else has done.
He threw a block party the other day.
For the longevity, and if he's not in the GOAT conversation, I get it, man. Maybe it's just generational bias. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in the conversation.
He has to be in the conversation.
Yeah,
he has to be in the conversation.
For me, it's like a 1.
It's
like a 1-1A, and it can go back and forth all you want, but it's a 1-1A in my mind. And sometimes he's the one.
And
I'm just saying.
Right. And they're different players though. Like, I don't want to see LeBron versus Jordan who would win. That's not, to me, that's not who the GOAT is. Because
can't do that.
Here's the deal. There are guys that would take either one of those guys on and beat them, and they're not even anywhere in the conversation.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I'd take
Iverson. They're not even in the conversation.
I would take Iverson.
Take Iverson there?
Look, because he's so quick.
As long as he can keep that space, he may not be able to stop him.
No.
But let's be honest. Put Shaq out there and let him back either one of
Yeah.
them down. He's dunking on them.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So
So we can't do that.
I don't think that's a very fair way to
No.
judge it. But yeah,
And
man,
you can't judge it on rings either.
I don't think so because
You
it's a
can't.
team effort.
That's right.
Team sport.
That's right.
The reality of it is, we can talk about. I mean, people talk about Tom Brady being a great winner, you know, a great quarterback. You hear Montana, you hear these other guys, but the reality of it is, when it comes down to it, the best pure quarterbacks are probably guys that we're not even talking about that much,
Yeah.
or they just kind of fall off the conversation. I look at a guy people talk about, Aaron Rodgers. How many does Aaron Rodgers have?
Yeah, one.
Okay, but the reality of it is, you put him next to some of these guys from a talent standpoint. Aaron Rodgers does circles around some of these guys.
If you put Aaron Rodgers, which they were running for a while, the West Coast offense, you drop him on that 49ers team that Montana had, he's got 4 rings too. I'm just saying.
Now,
give him a Randy Moss.
That does bring us back to. You're right. I'm excited to see what Tom Brady does.
Are we still talking about NFL football?
We just come back to it because we're talking about greatness, right? And greatness knows no boundaries, right? So Tom Brady has been a great winner in a system for years and years. I'm excited to see.
Football. We're still talking about football, right?
I'm sorry, that glare just caught me for 1 second.
What glare are you talking about, son? Huh? We still talking about football?
Oh, okay.
It's football season, baby. How about them Cowboys? Okay. Huh?
How about them Cowboys?
Huh?
How about them Cowboys?
Hey, shout out to my brother Reggie Robinson. He got this hat for me because he knows I'm a Cowboys fan. You see that star? Ooh.
I see that star.
I'm like Stephen A. I'm like the reverse Stephen A. Smith when he shows up in that Cowboys hat. Hating on the Cowboys. This is for the love of the Cowboys. Ooh, look at that.
For the love of the Cowboys. Ooh. That's a nice looking hat.
Yeah, man. Huh?
That's a nice looking hat. It fits all the way on the dome, too? Oh, okay.
What you mean it fits all the way on the dome? Huh?
Hey, it fits great. That's what I meant.
Come on in here. Look. Great. Take a look. Oh, how about them Cowboys? Woo! That's my technical assistant there, Eva. Huh? We representing Cowboys out here in Cali, baby.
That's what's up.
Yeah. The Vaqueros.
That's what's up.
Vaqueros? Vaqueros.
Vaqueros.
That's right. They Dallas.
Okay.
Playing the Rams today. We gonna get that dub too.
Yeah, so my son sees the new Rams logo and says, "Ooh, I don't like that. That's not a good logo."
Ask him what he thinks of his hat.
Son, I said, I don't think anybody likes that logo. They didn't do a very good job on that new LA Rams logo. He says, just the letters. I was like, yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
It's terrible, but it's
now my son's a huge Cowboys fan, so he'll be rooting for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm the Ravens fan. I'll be rooting for the Ravens.
Okay.
And then we got Cincinnati and Cleveland playing at 4:00 here locally. We're going to get a chance to see the new Bengal Burrow-led Bengals. I'm gonna tell you something.
That's my hometown team. I root for the Bengals.
That's your hometown team,
yes.
And I'll tell you, I root for the Bengals when it's no question, when they can't affect the outcome of the division, right? Because the Ravens, that's my squad.
I got you.
But I will tell you.
Yes.
I am intrigued,
Joe,
to see what the Bengals can do this year.
Burrow. Because
the Bengals have quietly had one of the best off seasons. Well, they've had the best off season in their history
in player acquisition,
and they've spent money.
That's a first.
Spent money on players.
I blame it on racism.
Are you
a little high? Huh?
Really?
Yeah. Think about this. Really? Think about this. This dude has the best coach in their history. There is no doubt about it. Marvin Lewis is the best football coach they've had in their history. You can say what you want about Sam, but Marvin has a winning record.
Sam White's rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And they did not want to spend money while he was the coach. They didn't want to spend money not only on players but on scouts.
Yeah, but they never had.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. So now they're spending money.
I think it was incompetence, and I think at
Oh,
some point you get tired
well, what
of
changed?
losing. Well, you know what?
Only one
Sometimes
thing
you hear it so
changed.
much.
You know,
Now, see,
I
I
love,
don't think that's fair.
look,
I don't know.
look.
I don't know.
Sometimes you have to scrape away a little layer of dirt to find the truth. Tom Joyner used to have a segment on his show a long time ago, and it would be called Hidden Racism. You just can't see it. But as soon, and look, I'm saying, when the black guy's there, we don't give him support. Black guy leaves, and we're gonna spend a little money.
Okay,
This is all
so
tongue
I
in
will
cheek.
take the. I'm gonna play. I know it. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate.
Okay.
That same black guy was there for a long
Yeah.
time,
You gonna get
and
that
was
work out of
gainfully
you.
employed.
We're gonna work out of you, boy. I pay you all that money. We're gonna get that work out of you.
I pay you all that money. You gonna work? What a concept! What a concept! I'm gonna pay you. You better work.
We're gonna
All
work
right.
you, boy.
I'm gonna pay you. You gonna work.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So anyway, my point before I was taken down that road was I'm intrigued to see what they do, because let's be honest, man. A few years back,
Yeah.
when we're talking about, he didn't have the support. Marvin Lewis might have had one of the best collections of talent
Yeah.
on a roster,
A lot
and
of
they
them.
they literally they dealt with some issues, obviously, with Chris Henry and the
Yes.
and the tragedy there. Then you follow that up with an injury to the quarterback going into the playoffs, which definitely could have had a different result in the playoffs if that doesn't happen. Um, they've had some misfortune.
I'm gonna tell you
They've had some misfortune.
how good of a coach he is, and an eye for talent, right? Is because a lot of those guys when they were on that run were on rookie contracts or their second contract, and they weren't spending a lot of money. They had no high priced top dollar guys, right?
No.
Those guys were really young, so the ability to scout and then coach up these young guys, man, he did a great job, and they were good. And if the Steelers don't cheap shot him and tear his knee up, they beat them, and they possibly go on a run.
That's right. Well, like I said, I'm interested to see now, because that
It'll be
collection of
fun.
talent on both sides of the ball is impressive.
Yeah.
They signed Mixon to the long deal,
Yeah.
the extension that he was looking for. Now fantasy football wise, man, I picked up Joe Mixon,
Oh,
and the question mark with him was he was having migraines, right?
Yeah.
But it was very interesting how as soon as he signed that extension, like 3 days later, he hadn't had a migraine since then.
got braces.
Huh?
He got braces like Terrell
He,
Davis.
he got braces with all that money that
Yeah.
he acquired. Same thing with Dalvin Cook. I signed Dalvin Cook, and there was a question now whether he was going to hold out, and they were talking about potential injury.
Yeah.
He signed that deal. I think it was yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
So I have no hesitancy in starting him today.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
So yeah, man, we are into sports.
Yeah.
We are into
Let's go ahead. Don't
home
play with
stretch.
me. Don't play with me.
What's up?
We're gonna talk about Notre Dame. Now, your boys
What?
may not be playing. Your league ain't playing. Pac-12 ain't playing.
You're right.
We don't have a full slate.
What's on tap for the JV league? Tell me.
But disrespect will not be allowed. They were terrible yesterday. I love Notre Dame,
Y'all played yesterday?
and they were terrible.
Y'all played yesterday?
They were bad. They were, and I didn't realize it until they started talking about it. And by the way, I love Tony Dungy doing the broadcast for Notre Dame. But they had lost so much on their offense they had lost 2 starting receivers and their starting tight end and running back gone. So they got all these new faces. They had a transfer from Northwestern who had 111 catches in his career at Northwestern. He has the most catches of their receiving core. He got hurt. The next guy up was in like his 20s in catches. That guy had 111. He was the most experienced receiver. And they were just, the timing was bad, book was bad, and luckily Duke wasn't. They put up a good fight, but they weren't good enough to sustain it. And then I watched Clemson play in a late game, and Clemson will demolish them if they don't get their act together. And I don't think Notre Dame has the talent to keep up with Clemson. It's going to be ugly when they play Clemson. What up, Brody?
What up? Shout out to Brody upstairs.
Yeah, getting busy.
Let's see a dog walking by the front.
That's how I sounded when I was watching Notre Dame. I was upset because they were looking terrible, man. Duke giving them fits.
Well, don't
man.
look now, but I feel like we could have some resolution to this whole Big Ten not playing here soon. So enjoy it while y'all can.
Yeah.
Because the varsity will hopefully be playing soon.
Whatever. I got one more thing I want to talk about real quick because time is of the essence here.
You got it, man.
We missed out on the opportunity to say rest in peace to two athletes, coaches, whatever. John Thompson passed, Georgetown Hoyas basketball coach of the 80s, first black coach to win a national championship in 1984. He coached the likes of Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, Allen Iverson. He did a lot for young black kids coming into college. He sat out a game in protest of Prop 48, which was making incoming freshmen sit down if they didn't have the correct grades. Now we know all how that works. Sometimes your sport is what keeps you motivated in the classroom. So if you have to sit out, then you lose that motivation. Then you start to decline in the classroom, and then you might get into trouble outside of the sport, and all things kind of go by the wayside. So he sat out in protest of that, got that rule reversed, Prop 48 rule reversed, so where the freshmen could come in and play in regards to their grades. So we lost him. He was in his 80s. And then Lou Brock, baseball player, played for famously for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes.
But he initially started with the Cubs. Have you heard the story about the Cubs?
No.
And how he got to St. Louis. Okay, so he gets to St. Louis, and there was a rule, I don't know if it was a written rule or an unwritten rule, that there could only be so many black guys on a team. And when he got there, he exceeded the limit. So they traded him to the Cubs for a pitcher who they thought was going to be good. And he wound up playing maybe 1 or 2 years and then just complete flop out of the league.
Well, they traded him to the Cubs, or they traded him from the Cubs to the Cardinals?
Cubs to the Cardinals.
Right.
He goes to St. Louis and becomes a star.
Becomes an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, leads the league. Legend. He was a runner-up MVP, and then he leads the league in a bunch of different categories. Stolen bases, triples, doubles, all this good stuff. But we lost him as well. So I just want to say rest in peace to those greats, John Thompson and Lou Brock.
That racism will get you every time.
Every time. Got the scrawny legs. A Tribe Called Quest got the scrawny legs, but I move just like Lou Brock. With speed, I'm agile. Plus, I'm with you a while. 100% intelligent black child. Yeah, well, that's what's up. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Hey, one last thing on what you said about John Thompson and coaching, and one of the biggest, I don't even know the word, man. I tell you, it's Sunday. My mind's on football. But one of the biggest tributes to a coach is the effect that he has on those kids, the lasting effect and the respect that they show. And you can just tell by the reverence that all those guys you mentioned, plus hundreds and hundreds more, have for that man, just how much of an impact he had and how much he took that profession and made it way more than just a profession. So shout out to all the coaches out there who are coaching for the right reasons, to affect lives in a positive manner. It's not just about wins and losses. We're all competitive, all of us, you included, that have chosen to coach at any level. But at the end of the day, our lasting effects are way more than wins and losses.
You know what Allen Iverson said about him? He said to him at his Hall of Fame speech, "Thank you, Coach. You saved my life." Because he was in that trouble coming out of high school with that fight that he was supposedly in, and
that's right.
Coach got him out of it. And then he tweeted, "I hope I did you proud, or hope I made you proud," and then signed it, "Your prodigal son." So that's what I'm talking about, man. Coaches are important.
That's right, man. Coaches do not underestimate your effect on people.
That's right.
On lives,
son.
With that, I think that's it.
That's it, son.
Everybody have a good week.
Yes.
Enjoy yourselves. Getaway Podcast with Tony and Sean. We enjoy doing this for you, for us. It's therapeutic as well. Hopefully you got a little bit of entertainment out of it.
Yeah.
Have a great week. Enjoy the football games.
Say words, son. Words, son.
Words, son.